Now, I don't really know much about this Madison King, to be honest. Seems to be a genuine person, from what I can gather. But that's not the point. Even if she didn't, even if I didn't like her politics, even if I didn't like her personally, it wouldn't matter. You bloody watch this. You listen to this. This is disgusting, what they've done to her. This is absolute proof that the Australian Electoral Commission is meddling in elections.
Breath, because I'm pretty annoyed about this. I just opened up my letter from the Australian Electoral Commission under the Freedom of Information. Now, page 1, the Australian Electoral Commission confirms my FOI request relates to documents about the removal and the restrictions of my content and social media content by Meta and Instagram during the federal election last year. I couldn't reach my audience in WA, and they had a lot to do with it. Pages 3 and 6, the A.E.C refuses to release the full details of how that decision was made or how communications with platforms occurred, citing internal deliberation, operational harm, and third-party business secrecy. Pages 1 and 2, the A.E.C expressly states it did not contact TikTok in relation to my account, but they refused to fully disclose the letter that was sent to Meta. So, what they did was interfered during my election. They asked me to remove content that had anything to do with superannuation, how to vote, digital ID, and there was one more. I can't think of it at the moment. Now, what's happened is that I literally went dead. I couldn't reach anyone. I couldn't understand. And then within 3 weeks of the election, I literally went from 15,000 to 50,000 followers when I hit June, the 1st of June. Now imagine me having that power during the election. They won't disclose who the third party is. What they did was sent me 12 pages of redaction. See, they rely on people like me to just give up and walk away because we don't have the funds for a lawyer. So to anyone in the country who is a lawyer and you can spare the time as a pro bono lawyer, I am hoping that you will put your hand up because you're not just representing me, you are representing all of Australia. And after the 20th of January 2026 hate law speech, I think it's fair to say that there are a lot of Australians out there that feel like we have no government, we have no hope, and we don't have any hope even within the legal system. So if you do choose to put your hand up, I can tell you firsthand, a lot of Australians would be very grateful to have hope that there are people like you still out there. So feel free to contact me, go into my About section, hit the link tree and send me an email and I will contact you. But I'm not going to roll over. And if I don't have a lawyer out there, I'm going to have to do this myself and hopefully get a GoFundMe together. Because I am not going to roll over. This is my country and I broke every glass ceiling to get where I am today.
So she's obviously provided all the receipts here. I'd have to enlarge that to read that. I might do that a bit later. But just for the sake of letting the video run smooth. But that's disgusting. Obviously, the Australian Electoral Commission is meddling in elections. Emails get intercepted. All mail gets intercepted. All mail going to the Governor General. It's not going to the Governor General. Now, I'm going to show you something. Right. Now, just bear with me. Oh, crikeys. Where have I put that? I'll have to wait till a little bit later. What I want to show you is what's the name? Senator. I'll have to find it later. There's a female senator in America. There's a picture of her in a hearing where she's being cross-examined and questioned. It's an impeachment or it's a trial of some sort. Anyway, yeah, and she's got a chain around the neck, and it looks kind of similar to like a dog chain, right? It's definitely not jewellery. And I've seen exactly the same chain around our Governor-General's neck. Exactly the same chain, and it's a chain, like a dog chain. We have been captured from within. This coup that's going on at the moment is an Israeli coup. Indictment, that's the word I'm looking for. It's looks like an indictment hearing. It's a female senator that Donald Trump had it in for. Now, our Governor-General is wearing exactly the same chain in a interview that she done at Bondi just after the massacre. Exactly the same chain, and it's not jewellery. I mean, it's the most hideous thing you ever seen for jewellery. It looks like a dog chain. Now, Rick Posey did point that out on his show, but I don't think it's good guys. I don't think it's good people. I don't think it's these so-called white hats. Maybe tiny hats. I think our country's compromised a lot worse than most of you think. I think we are extremely compromised. Everything that's going on at the moment is a dog and pony show. It's just got us running around chasing our asses and getting no answers, and the walls are closing in and closing in and closing in on us. Which is why I've literally taken the handbrake off. I've slipped it back a gear and hit the gas. You're going to be hearing a lot out of me publicly shortly. I'm going to be making so much noise. As much as I can without landing myself locked up, because I'm not much good to anyone in there. Especially my kids. But if I do, guaranteed, I will turn myself into the noisiest political prisoner you ever saw. If it happens that way, I will have that place in lockdown. Over and over and over. It's not a terrorist threat. That's a humanitarian threat. That's me saying I ain't backing down. I want us to walk away. I don't want violence. Please don't do it. I don't want violence. I don't want rallying. I don't want protest. That's not going to work. That's what they want. They feed off that. They have everything in place that they need. Okay? Everything that they want to bring in relies on your aggression. It relies on your violence. It relies on your dissatisfaction in the sense of making a noise, being unruly, social, non-social cohesion. Cohesion is coercion, okay? If you're if you're being cohesive, you're being coerced to be cohesive. It's coercion. What we need is public peace. We need community peace. We need the community and solidarity within our communities to take care of one another, to make them irrelevant. Sorry, we're not playing anymore. We don't want your game. We're just not going to do it anymore. To the point of I'll leave my battery out of this and everything. I only plug it, I only put it together, do what I've got to do, and I pull it apart again. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit paranoid. Edward Snowden, anybody? He's not stuck in Russia for nothing. Okay, look, it's obvious we're not, with this video alone, okay, proves that we're not going to vote our way out of it. We're not going to fix this politically. There is no political solution to the political problem. That is the problem. We need to walk away from that. We need to walk back to each other. We need to stop fighting with each other. We need to put our differences aside and realise how petty they are, how useless they are to our everyday lives, how much it is robbing from us emotionally, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, physically, economically. It is robbing everything from you, down to your very last thing that you have. Your life, your time. It's finite. And none of us know how much we have. None of us. It could end in 5 minutes. It could end now. For anyone at any time. Are we going to continue wasting it like we are? Or are we going to take our lives back and live and make the most of the time that we have? The full moons. How many full moons do you have left? God's time. That's not God's time. That's man-made time. That's the way of measuring time. That's all that is. It's a $600 way of measuring time. Actual time is God's time. How many full moons do you have? How many meals do you have? How many moments do you have with the people you love? How many have you wasted? That's the time you'll never get back. If nothing else motivates you, that should. God bless.